Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Earth's Ascension with Ortrun and Carl Franklin. Uh, we're back in the studio recording the podcast. This morning there were some audio difficulties, and the message is so tremendous that I got a hold of them right away when I noticed the problem that was going on this afternoon so that we could re-podcast. So thank you for joining us once again. Hey, Ortrun. Hey, Carl.
Hey. Hi, Dana. How are you?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. My goodness. You get to hear us twice today if you want to. So, Carl, would you like to start? Our topic today is the ascension.
The ascending universe. Yes. Well, there are a couple of significant things that are happening, and one of them very, very much involves us. Do you realize that according to the astrophysicists, 70% of our universe is made out of dark matter, and 27% of our universe is made out of dark energy? Now, dark, don't interpret that as being a color or a lack of color. It simply means they know something's there, but they don't know what it is. So when you add the 70% with the 27%, that totals 97% of the universe that we don't know what it is. That means we only know about 3, maybe 4% of the universe through our 5 senses. So there's a whole lot to our universe that we don't know anything about. It's beyond the range of our ability to perceive. And if we can't perceive, we certainly cannot understand. So one of the changes that's taking place in us, as through our scientists, we learn more about this dark energy and dark matter, our knowledge of the universe is going to be increased dramatically. Now, when that's going to happen, that's a good question, but the scientists are certainly working on this, and it's probably going to be very, very insightful. I can tell you that one of the theories that the quantum or the astrophysicists have is that our universe follows all of the laws that govern holograms. And if you've been to a movie that's been a 3D movie and you put on those plastic glasses, well, that's a hologram. A hologram is made out of 3-dimensional light. Well, a hologram isn't real in the sense you can't reach out and touch it. And they're saying that it's possible that the universe is a hologram. And if that's the case, then what may bring it into reality is our focus, not just the focus of us human beings, but if a space being or a group of space beings or human beings focus, there's something there to be seen. And if we don't focus, it's not there. And thus it becomes a part of the dark matter and the dark energy. It's kind of like the old saying that if a tree falls in the woods and no animal is there to hear it, is there any sound? Well, it's an open question. Logically, it would say you would say yes, but anyway. So there's a lot about the universe that we don't know. But one of the things that we do know, everything in the universe, according to the physicists, is made out of energy. Energy is always moving, and all energy exists in frequencies. And different frequencies of energy express themselves in different ways. So if dark energy and dark matter, they must be made out of energy also. And it could well be that the energy that they're made out of is beyond the frequency that our eyes and ears and smell and taste and touch can make contact with. And I suspect very much that is the truth. But at the same time, the universe is anything but static. It's dynamic. It's always moving, always changing. In fact, according to the physicists, there's really nothing in the entire universe that is not moving. Everything is moving. In an atom, you've got electrons spinning around the nucleus of the atom. Within molecules, got the atoms spinning around a molecule. And in the solar system, our planet is spinning around the Earth once a year, and the Earth itself is rotating once a day, and movement is everywhere. And it's been interesting to me that in this whole situation with what's called Nibiru, which seems to be or could be a failed solar system because the main star did not get large enough to ignite as a sun. They have detected it has stopped. It stopped moving. And in the Earth, in the Bible, it says for, what was it, 3 days, the Earth was dark. Well, part of it was dark. The other side had 3 days of sunlight. It stopped rotating. And based on the ancient table of zodiacs, when it started spinning again, it was spinning in the opposite direction. So there's all kinds of change going on all of the time in the universe. And that's just the physical universe. We have 4 different bodies: a physical body, a mental body, an emotional body, and a soul body. And I was just reading that again in another channeling today. And all of these bodies are also changing all of the time. What is it to say that the universe doesn't have multi-bodies also, made out of different kinds of energy? We know that we're made out of different energy. Nobody's ever seen a mental body. They've never seen a thought. They've never seen an emotional body. They've never seen an emotion or a feeling, but yet they're extraordinarily real. Nobody's ever seen a soul, but yet all of our world religions, almost from the beginning, have indicated that, yes, we have a soul. And it's interesting, too, that almost none of the religions define what a soul is. But we have these multidimensional parts of ourself, and only one of them is physical. And that's the part of us that can only see 3% of the universe. And it appears that the emotional and mental bodies are made out of etheric energy. And it appears that when we die, our mental, emotional, and soul body leaves the physical body, which is why the physical body dies, but no one can see us when we're in our etheric body. All right, so we've got change going on continuously in us. The same is true of the universe. The same is true of the galaxy and the solar system. Change is a constant. Movement is a constant. And our ability to understand is limited, because what we think we know, all of that information comes in through our 5 senses. And our 5 senses are limited in what they can perceive, see, feel, touch, smell, etc. All right? So, we have a universe that is expanding, and we don't know how big it is. We do not have the instrumentation yet that can find the edge of the universe. They estimate that there are about 2 billion stars in our Milky Way galaxy, and they estimate that there are 2 to 10 billion galaxies that make up the universe. And they're finding now, they found about 5,000 planets. They've just really begun that search, and they're very limited in what how they can find planets, because a lot of them don't reflect light back. But yet they found 5,000 of them, and they find that many of the stars have solar systems. So how many planets are there in the universe? And that's an unknown, but it's going to be really, really high in the billions of planets. And how many of those planets support life? We don't know. But it looks like the universe is abounding with light, with life. What a absolutely marvelous place. And so many questions, so much to learn. And so what is the universe? Well, from my perspective, the universe is a part of the body of the Creator through which it is experiencing itself and expressing itself. Our soul is an aspect of the Creator, and in Genesis it says, "And God created humans in his own image and likeness." And he repeated it. In his image and likeness he created them. To emphasize that point, we have more of that divine essence within us. And here on the planet, we're co-creators with Mother Nature on the surface of the earth. And the surface of the earth is always changing. A lot of it by our activity, some of it because the plates that make up the surface are shifting. So again, we have change, we have evolution. It's happening on all levels of creation. It's happening within our own bodies, within our own minds, within our own emotions, and it's certainly happening in our spiritual growth. In this a phase of ascension that we're in, growth is accelerated many, many times, and on all levels, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And it's also been, this is information that I've been told several times in channeling. I have not gotten or read this in other channeling, so you have an absolute right to question this, all right? But the Creator has made a decision. She wants to alter the ratio of, I'm going to say, light and dark, good and evil, right and wrong, all right? It appears that the negative forces in the universe have grown faster than the light forces. And they want to, the Creator says, I've learned everything I want to learn about the darkness, so I'm going to scale that back. And I've been told that the Creator wants to get rid of about 80% of the universe that is negative, that is judgmental, that is critical, that is non-productive, that is harmful. And that's creating a tremendous healing or a cleansing activity on the earth. And I feel like I'm right in the middle of that, of cleaning out the lower level dark lords and so on. So anyway, here's Ortrun.
So with all of this going on in the universe, and how are we linked with the things that are going on here in the universe? Because, we talk all the time about a planetary ascension. Is it as the planet evolves, does that assist in helping the solar system and also then the planet, not planet, but the universe to also evolve, to be pulled upward?
The answer is yes. Because if the entire universe is the body of the Creator, there is only one. It's all interconnected. And what affects any part of creation, be it physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, at whatever energy level or other whatever frequency, it impacts the entire creation. You've heard the saying, we are all one, and that is true because we are all an aspect, a unique aspect of the Creator that is, again, experiencing and expressing itself.
Okay, so how are the planet, this planet Earth, how is that, I'm going to say this, is intertwined with the galaxy? Do those of the universe or, our galaxy, do they have something that they are also doing for us, assisting us in any manner? How are we connected with them?
There are 3 planets that are really working hard with us, or I should say 3 star systems. The Andromedan, the Ceres, and the Palladians, yes. And they're all sending us, every day they're sending us waves of high-frequency energy to help strengthen us spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And they are receiving energy from higher aspects, higher planets or space beings that are of a higher dimension. And we are also receiving energy, the light workers particularly. We have what we call our oversouls. Our soul is come from and was given birth by a higher dimensional soul who was given birth by a yet higher dimensional soul. And we have all of these oversouls working with us, all of these higher aspects. And then we have our spirit family, which is made up of angels and heavenly guides and master teachers that are working with us. And as we evolve, we're grounding some of that energy into the earth. We're sharing some of that through our aura with people around us. We're sharing some of it through our words, our activities, our actions. And so, yes, we're very much involved with this whole process. And because we're in this ascension process, change is happening so very, very fast. Now, we have to clean out the negative in order for the positive to be grounded in. So, and that's all being, the negatives is very much of it's being brought to the surface right now. And people see it and they become afraid, or anyway, they don't like it. But it has to be brought to the surface and to be identified, dealt with, and gotten rid of. And we're all playing a major role in that by overcoming fear, replacing fear with love, by knowing that everything is working for the highest good of all. Okay?
Okay, so I mentioned this morning earlier when we were on about the different spaceships and so on. I have heard that there are many, many spaceships that are just hovering around the planet, wanting to assist us. Is that correct, Carl?
That is correct. There are not only many spaceships here that want to help us, but most of them are here to observe, because we're doing this ascension differently than it's ever been done before. And this is an experiment, and you can consider ourselves on the Earth an experimental planet. Up to this point, ascension with people has always been one at a time. And someone will spend lifetimes to reach the point where they can ascend beyond the physical level. Whereas here, we're trying to ascend, well, as many people as possible all at once. And those that are ready to ascend will ascend. And so this is a much quicker, a much more efficient way of doing this. And this is why the space brothers and sisters are helping us. And this is why we're being sent energy by the central sun, for example, of the galaxy. And there's trying different techniques here to make this a faster, smoother, more efficient operation. And if this works here, it will probably be transported throughout the whole universe, so all of these billions of galaxies. And it may even be transported to galaxies in other universes. So we're involved in something that could have impact even beyond our own universe. That's how important it is. So these ships that are here, many of them are here to help, but many of them are to observe and then take that information back to the planet or galaxy from which they came. All right, and so the channeling says that there are by raising their vibration, the ships can be anywhere and not be seen. They can be in the earth, in the soil. They can be in the oceans. They can be in the atmosphere. They can be out in space on Mars, the moon, etc. And they say they number now in the billions. Okay.
And so, how are these beings, ones from the universe, are they now also walking among us?
In doing live script readings of the 3,000 or so that I've done, roughly 30%, which would be about 900, have come from other planets. Okay? Yes, they are here among us from many, many different planets, and I've even encountered some that are from other universes and other creations. All right? So, yes, they are here among us. You can sense they're a little bit different, but they have human bodies. And if you're from that same planet, or if you are from space, you feel an identity with these other space beings. Now, about 30% of the light workers are from the angelic realm. Ortrun's from that realm. And I'm from the spirit realm. All right? So we've got about 90% that are from between the three, and then we've got 10% that have come from outside of the universe or inner Earth or other creations.
Okay, now let's focus a little bit on the now time here on the planet, because since we've had our last show, which was a month ago, there have been quite a few developments on the planet that seem, really quite serious. And, we've talked about being shaken up and bringing things forth. Is there anything that you want to say as far as assisting people during this time frame to be able to work through it better and stay away from that fear that might be being activated within many people especially?
Yes, please. The one thing that you can do to harm humanity and the earth is to go into fear, because you're adding energy to that you don't want, that we don't want. All right. So please, do not house any fear within yourself. If those thoughts come in, please replace it with a positive thought or a positive mantra, and keep your frequencies positive and as high as you can. It looks like it's already begun actually. The New Madrid fault has begun to move. And when there's a town called New Madrid in Missouri on the Mississippi River, and that seems to be the pivot point. And when that earthquake hits that, it's going to expand in both directions, up and down the Mississippi, and move across the country through Illinois, Indiana. It may touch lower Michigan. It's going to travel up the waterway, across New York, and out into the Atlantic, and it's supposed to produce a very large tidal wave that's going to impact Europe. But when that happens, and it's projected for sometime this spring, it's going to really cut a lot of the transportation of materials, of fuels, of perhaps electricity across the Mississippi, because the bridges will be down and the roads will be gone, and et cetera. So be prepared for that, and know when it happens, it's out of that is something really good is going to happen, but there's going to be a period where there are going to be shortages. And what I would suggest if you feel you're ready for this, to ask that you be given the ability, and talking to your soul and with your spirit family and your teachers and guides and so on, that you have be given the ability when you walk through your supermarket, that you can visualize what used to be in that empty shelf and see it full. And as you walk away, that shelf is filled with whatever it held, food or paper products or cleaning products or whatever, all right? And if we can do that, we can avert shortages. We can avert hunger, etc. And in your own home, to visualize what you want for supper, to visualize it in the refrigerator, or even better yet, visualize it on the plates on your dining room tables so you don't even have to cook it, all right? But so to work on developing the creative ability to call energy into the form that you want it in for yourself, your family, or other people in the store. And if enough light workers develop this ability, what a difference it's going to make in the way we live when this mammoth earthquake takes place.
If it takes place.
Yes.
Because by our focusing that divine radiant light and love into that kind of a situation also, they can alter things.
Yeah.
Right? Just as you had altered things when you were inside that tornado that time, right?
That
hurricane that one time. So we have that ability within us, and we don't have to totally even believe it, but focus on those outer things, see them being blessed. Know that this is something that is meant to happen, and there's more behind it than is out here in front of us. And know that we will all gain from this, whether it's learning how to meditate more and living more in trust and understanding that there's always a reason there for everything, and that to continue to be that light, to be the light source that is, while embracing everyone, because we are all one.
We are all co-creators on the earth. We all have this ability. Jesus said, everything I can do, you can do, and even greater. And now we're going to be given an opportunity, not only an opportunity, but there's the need to help other people by our being able to do it. So we have a strong motivation and to have the desire to do it and to trust that it can be done through us. It doesn't have to be done by us, but it's allowing the divine energy to flow through us and manifest what is needed.
I think we're close to the end of our time. So is there anything else any comments? Dana, do you have anything you might want to add?
I think I know why we re-recorded the show. I mean, you two were on fire this morning, but you've kind of blown it out of the water this afternoon. Wow.
You never know what's going to come through.
It is outstanding. It was good this morning, and this afternoon, just wow. Amazing.
I'm so glad. It was meaningful.
Yeah. Kelly Spencer is saying in the chat room, as Carl explains it, my mind can see perfectly the heavenly realms. His descriptions are beautiful and so intriguing. And Ortrun, when you were talking about how we interact and we're part of the equation, Kelly and I were both chatting back and forth about how vast the unseen realms are, and
yes.
How we do play a role.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. I think we're done.
Yeah. Dana, one more comment here?
Yes, please.
Okay. When these things happen, do not focus on what the negative aspect, but focus on what can I learn from this and what can I do? And let it be a learning, growing experience. And it's going to, in the long run, it ends up being a very positive thing.
Beautifully said. Wonderful show, you two. Thank you.
Thank you, and blessings to all of you.
And everyone, you can find Carl and Ortrun now on Patreon. If you would like to become an official patron through Patreon of Carl and Ortrun's work, they are offering an exclusive class for Patreon members only once a month for $10 a month. Now that's a bargain, if there ever was a bargain. So how do you find them? Go to patreon.com, patreon.com, and look them up, Our Spiritual Ascension with Ortrun and Carl Franklin. And there you will learn lots more about that. So thank you, Carl. Thank you, Ortrun. And thank you to everyone who listened in live and to those who are listening in the archives.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful being with you all.